not because credit cards are more convenient, but because of tax laws from the 80s that have not been changed that apply to quarter-based, that apply to taking quarters. So it's just more convenient like that. Arcade and upkeep is pretty high, so if you have arcades at your bar, well, you're going to make more on the bar than the arcades. All right. Now, they're declining in the USA because of other ways to play video games, but yet they're thriving in Japan. The arcade scene in Japan, it's still thriving. But they are under a threat because there is a tax increase for the yen, and, not the yen, but for arcades. So let's say, you put your 100 yen, which is a coin, in the arcade machine, but having a tax increase to 110 yen, well, will just complicate things. So going from 100 yen to 110 yen to play a game, yeah, that can hurt arcades in Japan. Now there are new methods in arcades like virtual reality. So there are VR, virtual reality arcades, or V-arcades, as I'm calling them. Hey, do what I did at Wasteland Weekend 2016. Get some plug and plays, which we talked about earlier. Put them in a box, hook them up to black and white portable TVs. There's your arcade. So yeah, you can make an arcade in your house. All right, now I'm going to show you a guy who does events, who goes to bars and provides his own, consoles to play at events and bars on given nights. Meet Porticade. Pop-up arcade, bar to bar, brewery to brewery. As often he gets hired to do this. So yeah, all those minis we talked about earlier, console imitators, minis, even brings his own Sega. He brings a Nintendo 64, brings a Switch with the NES online for to play old school games. So yeah, he can turn your own party or bar into an pop-up arcade. All right, now we got plenty of retro game gatherings and tournaments happening. They happen worldwide, and there's a. So they go as far as Sweden here. I know I went to the one in Pasadena last year, and actually going to come back this year. It's just called the Gaming Expo. So they're all around, even at the current game conventions I went to last week. We had the Retrocade. So you set up your games there. There's your retro area. And then there's tournaments for retro gaming. There's the Retro World Series. Their next stop's going to be in Las Vegas at the Level Up Expo, which I'll be at. And hey, we got one coming up in the same place called the Megabit Expo. This will be right here in September 13th. So there is a video game expo happening in this very place in 7 months. All right, what stays relevant? Some of it's opinion-based, well received by fans and critics, those enduring franchises. Mario, Zelda, Tetris, plenty consistent in quality, and they stick around. Whatever's good. Some have cult appeal. If it didn't get its due then, it's getting its due now. Earthbound, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, best title ever. E.T. for the 2600 for its infamy. That's a game you gotta keep. The Game Boy camera. People still fascinated by this thing. All right, Night Trap. Well, that's because it has a story of its own, and certainly has an ARM appeal. The Sega Dreamcast, fondly remembered, has a unique set of games. The Desert Bus, that game where you keep going straight for 8 hours. And you don't have to play yourself, just watch other people play it, and you can pay them to keep playing. All right, turns on and play. So yeah, these games, they turn on and play. No menus. No screens to go into our eShop and get a discount. Yeah. All right, play the old-fashioned way. Hey, sure, television keeps changing, but people at TV stations agree. People want to watch the old-fashioned way. Same with video games. All right, hey, gamers get curious these days, and we got social media, so dig these things up, give your opinion, put it online. All right, and the hunt for collectibles, people are collecting these, so people are out finding some of the rare games. Hey, people want my Game Boy camera here. That's something you can't pass up if given the opportunity. All right, what doesn't stick around? What didn't really stick around as long, and we're just riffing on it? Licensed games. Since plenty of them have, because of their short dev cycle. No one really talks about Wizard of Oz for Super Nintendo, except for, video game reviewers looking to, punch something. E.T. has its story, but definitely not. But that doesn't apply to most licensed games. Those yearly sports games. Yeah, they don't go for a lot at your secondhand store. If you just want to get rid of them, they'll give you pennies. All right, poorly received, most knockoffs. All right, short-lived gimmicks, like there was full motion video. Hey, Night Trap's one of the few, full motion video games we regard, and Wing Commander. But a lot of them just fizzled out. Red and black virtual reality, and those, handheld devices like those Tiger games with 2 graphics on it that show you 2 things. All right, there's the Sega Genesis Mini, but no Sega CD or 32X remasters. Those attachments for the consoles. They're collectible, but there's better things on the base system. And why bother with the Game Boy Advance e-reader? Know what the e-reader was, right? All right, so you stick this device in your Game Boy Advance here, and the games come on cards. So card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're playing your game. But all those games are on the Nintendo Online or NES Classic, so yeah, no more e-readers or card games we need. It was a neat gimmick. All right, the 8-bit and 16-bit art style. It's a simple art made with squares, creates recognizable shapes, easy to get into. In fact, the Game Boy camera here has a paint feature, so get a white canvas or black, or do white colors on black, and you can make your own images. I recommend if you're gonna get into pixel art, start by watching Bob Ross. So, wait. So here's me making a Bob Ross painting on a Game Boy camera. Keep doing this. Yeah, try making a work of art with this. Or you can do it with your mouse. Give them the program. Well, the 16-bit and 8-bit art style, it's still around in many ways. Street art is for sale. We can find them in the stores. Space Invaders, Zelda, Mario, Mega Man, Pac-Man. Yeah, this is a giant Space Invader that was painted on the side of a building, but it's been renovated recently. It's actually part of a series of like 30 Space Invaders